Hello, this is Samara of CoachingConsciousCreators.com, back with another video with immediately actionable tips so that you can create a life that you truly desire. So today I'm looking over because I got my notes over here, but today is day 2 of the self-love series. So in yesterday's video, I talked about basically what self-love really is, what the foundation of it is, and I started with the most important aspect of self-love, which is caring about how you feel, making your happiness, and I'm not just talking about like this idea you have of happiness, but making your actual moment to moment happiness a high priority. That is the foundation of self-love. So today I'm going to take it a step further and talk about another way to show yourself love, which is giving yourself things that you want. Like I did yesterday, I'm going to use comparisons because that seems to help us be able to process information better. And so when we think about people that we love in our lives, our greatest desire, if we truly love them and we're not disturbed in some way, is to give them things that they want. We want to see them happy. We want to see them excited. I think that's the big reason most of us really love like the holidays and Christmas, because we have an opportunity to please the ones we love. We have an opportunity to go and get the perfect gift. We have to think back over all the things that we've shared in the relationship with the people that we love, and then come up with a way to just really delight them. And so self-love is doing that for ourselves, really looking at our true desires and figuring out ways to delight ourselves and making that just as important as delighting other people that we love. The tricky part about this for me was when I first started my journey to self-discovery, or when I started deepening and when I started really getting into manifestation, I really was not in touch with what I actually wanted. It seems so simple, but when you have these ideas about what's acceptable, about what you should be doing, about what a happy life looks like that come from outside of you, and you haven't really done any inner work, you can sit and be like, well, what do I really want? Like you can even, think about those things that you believe you should want and not get excited and not understand why it's not manifesting. And so just the journey, like I said, of self-discovery and learning what truly delights us, like listening to our body and feeling that excitement come up with something that we're truly passionate about comes across our imagination. Like that is work in itself for many of us. And then after discovering what we want, like really pulling back from just serving others and actually delighting ourselves on a regular basis is another step. So if you're not regularly doing the practice of going inside and saying, what would delight me in this moment? What would delight me in this day? What would delight me in this week? And then actively taking steps to delight yourself, then self-love might be an issue for you. Self-love might be something that you need to work on. And it can get really tricky because we have to balance delighting ourselves with delighting the other people in our lives. But what I found is that the more I delight myself, the better I am at delighting others. When we deprive ourselves of the things that we truly want, we become drained and bitter and sad, because the way we feel generally is just, what do you call it? A string of moment to moment emotions. So if in every moment we're not paying attention or prioritizing our happiness, then those moments string up to create like a general sense of dissatisfaction or bitterness. And so even when we're trying to delight others, there's this resentment, and we may not even understand where that resentment is coming from, where we're like, oh, they don't even deserve this. Or we get really nitpicky about the way that they receive what we're giving. We get upset because they don't, whatever, we don't like the way they said thank you. But I found that when I'm truly delighting myself, which is a constant practice and I'm not perfect at it, But when I am doing that and I'm truly happy and I make sure that I am satisfied, then the way people receive my gifts and my energy doesn't matter to me. I'm not resentful. I'm not thinking, well, I'm not even getting my needs met. How dare you respond that way, or decide not to accept my gift, or not come to my party, or not get me a gift in return, or whatever we're expecting from other people when we're giving to them because we haven't given to ourselves. And so giving ourselves what we want, delighting ourselves, making sure that we're pleased, not only benefits us, but it benefits those around us. Because when we're full of life, like when we're glowing, when we're happy, when we have an overflow of energy and abundance, people get to enjoy us more. People don't feel so pressured to like tiptoe around our feelings because we're managing our own feelings. We're taking care of ourselves so they can be free to be themselves. They don't have to operate in a way that manages our feelings for us. They can just be free, basically. And so really ask yourself, do I care about what I want? And am I taking action to give myself what I want? An example, today I'm planning on having a few family members over to watch a movie that just debuted on a streaming service. And I was thinking about like, what would they want to eat? What would they want to eat? And they weren't RSVPing and I was getting frustrated. And I was like, wait a minute. How about I focus my energy on making sure I enjoy this event first and foremost? And so the idea to make a charcuterie, yeah, I think it's called a charcuterie board, popped into my mind, and I started watching YouTubes on it, and it fits into my diet plan, and I just got really excited about this charcuterie board. And now I don't care who shows up. I'm going to have my wine and my board with my meats and cheeses and fruits, and it's going to be beautiful, a beautiful work of art, and I'm going to watch the premiere. So I'm not so worried about how other people are showing up for me because I'm showing up for myself. And that is self-love, and that is a moment-to-moment thing. So again, I'm going to keep this one short today. Going back to yesterday, caring about how you feel, caring about whether or not you're enjoying your experience in every moment is foundational. And part of that is giving yourself what you really want, understanding what it is that you really want, allowing yourself to let your mind wander and get these ideas about what would be delightful for you. I had a conversation with one of my friends who's dating, and she was like, I just hate dating, you know, and that's the sentiment most of us have. I personally hate like dating apps. It's just so exhausting, in short. But she was just talking about how, it's just a chore to get up and go on these dates. And I was like, well, why not prioritize your own excitement when it comes to these dates? And what would that look like? Like if somebody invites you to do something that doesn't excite you, say no. And if you go, like make sure you're comfortable. Don't go there focusing all your attention on making the other person comfortable or trying to impress the other person. You impress others by being happy and satisfied. And people love that energy. So if you show up, first of all, you only accepted a date that you were excited about, that you actually wanted to show up for. And then when you get there, you're thinking about your pleasure. Like who doesn't like to watch, especially a woman, just enjoy things? And so you ask for the wine you want, you ask for the food that you want. And I'm not talking about like taking advantage of someone. I know that's a thought that most people have when women go on dates and they, you know, order whatever. I mean, like for me, it doesn't have to be expensive. It just has to be something that pleases me. And so that way, if I spend time with someone that I'm trying to get to know, it never feels like a waste of time. It's always an adventure. It's always enjoyable because I decide that I'm not going to participate unless I'm enjoying it. And I try to make everything in my life like that as much as I can. Like some things you can't control, like I talked about in yesterday's video. You can't control some of the aspects of being a parent or being in a committed relationship that, you know, like a marriage or being at a job. Like you have to show up. But you can, in as many areas as possible, make things enjoyable. When things are optional, like dating or spending time with friends, make sure that you like that. Like don't ever choose suffering. You know what I'm saying? Suffering is always optional. And so if you can avoid it, avoid it. And if you have to endure something, still do your best to make sure it's as enjoyable as it can possibly be. So day 2 of the self-love series is give yourself things that you want, like delight yourself. Make yourself a charcuterie board. Thank you guys for watching. If you want more deep dives, head over to my Patreon, which is linked below. And also click the link below just for more resources, like the free manifestation toolkit and all kinds of other goodies. Thank you guys so much.